Hey guys, I was just confirming that there were no wolves in my hotel room in Texas. So I'm stuck here today, and then I'll go home tonight. So
Wolf free.
oh, yeah, so far, so
I like
far,
it.
yeah. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but we didn't really get into it. And then I was gonna come back, and then I was like, wow, I'd really rather take a nap. So I just didn't come back. Sorry, it wasn't gonna happen yesterday.
That's how it
Um,
goes.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, um, I'm all like whacked out of time zones and stuff too again, so that's not gonna be fun. But I can sleep a lot tomorrow, so that's cool. Um,
Very good.
so let me pull up this. I did what I always do, which is when we're reading this guy's blogs, I copy it and I put it into a Word doc for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't want the images because he'll copyright strike anything with images in it. And second, if he writes anything that's inappropriate or like in this case, he wrote an anonymous person's full name and address on it, I can get rid of it that way. So I prefer to just read it that way. Okay, hold on.
Did you pick a name to replace it with?
I did. I replaced it with Laura's name.
How about Aurora? That'd be good.
Aurora would have been better. Yeah. Um, it's hard to know since he took his channel down and don't have a cat hiding. I mean, he was posting his cat a lot, I guess. But to be fair, I don't really care about that. Not that I don't care about the cat. No, I don't care about the cat. I'm sorry, guys. I really don't. I see that you guys care about it a lot, so it doesn't need me, right? So we're fine.
People like cats, Lauren.
Yeah, I don't not like cats. I just have never had one. So and I also like they're so scratchy.
They'll get you.
I don't like that. It creeps me out. No, I've only had dogs. Okay, so this is something that he titled on his website. Like he wants to do a bar complaint wiki with all his bar complaints, which is I don't know if that was supposed to be funny or like cool, but like yikes. So this is, like I said, we're not gonna read through this whole thing because it's boring as fuck after a while. But
yeah, it's not the flex he thinks it is, I don't think.
No, and so he's talking largely about this YouTuber Loud Little Ducky, the one that he copyright struck for using his gym selfie in her thumbnail. He got a bar complaint from her after she had reached out to him and tried to have a conversation with him. He still didn't want to drop it. He then put her in his filings in the California courts, even though she has nothing to do with Mike's case. So a lot of what she had to complain about and what I had to complain about were similar, but they were also very different in that. And I'm only mentioning that here because he's going to go on to say that we basically sent in the same thing, which is not true. He accused me of a specific crime, which I absolutely did not commit. And so mine is actually quite different in the like
Right.
some of the themes are the same, right? But it's not the same subject matter. So, but he's gonna, drone on about that, of course. Can I make it larger?
Big font. You have a 12-point font.
I think they want me to zoom in, dude.
Well, you could zoom, or you could make the font bigger.
I don't even feel like doing that.
Yeah.
So.
Now, can you move it? We're in the way now.
Yeah, here. Is that better?
No. Now the document's gone.
I tried.
That's better. I don't know if it's bigger, though. Is it? Maybe.
It's a little bit. I think. Let me try one more time.
I don't think this is super new. That's pretty big.
Yeah, this should be readable.
But it's new for us to dig into.
This is from a couple days ago, yeah. A couple days ago. But it kind of needed to take a back seat because I was like, we got other stuff to do right here. And I know that you would love a piece of the attention, but it was just not relevant enough at the time. Like I said the other day.
Get in line, Jingris.
Right. Like I said the other day, I was like out at dinner and I got this email from the bar where he sent this crazy like 4 or 5 page rant to them. And I'm not going to post it online. I'm not doing that. If he's going to do that, he's going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But I will read off a couple of lines that I thought were like a little crazy. I'm not going to show it on the screen though. And I want to go through some of this first. So this is largely about Loud Little Ducky. And I wanted to point that out because she has a video here where she went over the emails that he sent her after he tried to copyright strike her, video, and he got it taken down. And so he sent her some really interesting emails which he was saying like, I'm absolutely not threatening you, but he was basically, in my opinion, from what I read, was trying to admit that he uses copyright strikes as a means of control, and saying that he was upset that people don't reach out to him and they only read Omar's stuff, which is not true, because we read his stuff just as much, like we are now. And it was just kind of stupid, because he also said, technically, and these are not his direct words, he also said technically that he could strike people or sue them for reading the legal filings online, or he was implying that it was somehow wrong to like read these things without talking to him. And like, you cannot force people to talk to you, especially if you treat them like this. Bruce, it looked like you watched this video. Did you?
I did.
Do you remember anything that stuck out to you?
I think, well, you can see my comment right there. I caught the exact same thing you caught, which is that he appears to have an admission in here that the copyright claim he made is merely a technique to apply information control. That is what someone would and would not talk about. And it's interesting to me because he comes from this position where he thinks, he has this assertion that Omar has a filing and it's full of lies. And rather than go through and just say, okay, here on page 3, here's a sentence, here's why I think it's incorrect, and prove it's incorrect, and then say, here's some evidence to show why I think Omar knew the correct answer, but wrote the wrong answer instead to deceive people, you would have to have that. And to me, that's a very high bar. You have to have a lot of evidence, like some text messages from Omar saying, I'm going to deceive everybody with this court filing, which of course doesn't exist. Yeah. But you'd have to have something like that, right? And his next step is that if you go through and take the document from the court docket and read it and give your own thoughts about it, that somehow you're implicitly like agreeing with information that may or may not be correct. So first, if he can prove something in there is wrong and convince me, I'll agree it's wrong. Proving it's a lie is complicated, but we'll set that aside. The problem is just reading something from a court filing doesn't really mean I agree with it or disagree with it or I endorse it or I'm trying to convince somebody else of something I think is deceptive as well. He has to actually prove those things. And he doesn't do it.
We read some lawsuit. This was a while ago now. It must have been like 7 or 8 months ago. We read something on here that it was about Luigi Mangione, and some random person in Florida had like filed a lawsuit for like millions of dollars against the president and stuff, and like wanted him released immediately. It was the most unhinged thing I've ever read. We read it because it was entertaining, not because we thought it had merit.
Yeah, exactly. It's entirely possible to read something and you're like, what does this mean? Is it legit? Well, I don't think so. But.
Right.
So you can read something and then just not have an opinion, or you can read something and have an opinion and share it. Right. And you can agree with something on the face of it, and then if somebody convinces you that it's incorrect, you can change your mind later. And that's the burden here that Gingras has when he complains about something, that a video Dave Neal makes, or a filing that Woodnick makes, or a filing that Omar makes. And he says, it's full of lies. And you're like, well, dude, you got to actually enumerate in a very detailed manner what you think is incorrect, and then prove it's a lie on top of that. And that's the steps he never does.
No, of course not.
So I just don't know what to do with his claims, because they're just not good enough. They don't have a foundation that's good enough for me to get behind them. If he had something like that, I would get behind it.
Yeah. I noticed another thing that he does is he usually engages in conversation with the presumption that someone is part of a cult, which well. But when somebody's reaching out to you as an individual and trying to talk to you person to person, the way that she did and the way that a lot of people do, when you approach that as like, well, even if you approach it as, I think you're one of the nice JFC folks, which is something he says a lot, you're still, sort of starting the conversation, pinning that person as part of a group or something that they might not even identify with, right? Like there are people with all kinds of opinions who don't necessarily spend a lot of time, maybe even on the subreddit or the Instagram page or whatever. And he groups everyone together in a way that you enter a conversation with this guy and you try to talk to him like a human, and he instantly treats you like something I feel like a little less than. Like you're somehow like fundamentally bad or wrong. Even if he is giving you the little bit of negging, oh, you're a good JFC person, like he doesn't understand that that's not how you want to relate to people if you want them to see your side of things.
Yeah, you can't convince people with labels and rhetoric. It just doesn't get to the point of communicating information efficiently.
Yeah.
And part two of that is when it gets really extreme, which we've seen him do, the name calling or the labeling can be dehumanizing, which you were pointing out. And I think that's a PR technique. It's not a good one, but it's a technique he's employing here.
Definitely not. He's clearly doing his own PR.
And it's fairly transparent. It's pretty obvious. You don't need to be Jack Fox to figure out when he's using rhetoric, when he's name calling, when he's doing these things that aren't effective.
I don't know. I didn't see anything else here. Hang on. If someone doxes you, then anything they have sent to you is fair game, especially when that person continuously whines about JFC not covering both sides. He should take his own advice about talking about a case that is over. So I agree with this. So like she didn't want to like put these emails out on the fucking internet, but he did this. And then he posted her name, her phone number, an address, which I thought at first was her home address. Apparently it's a mailbox. So that's good, but it's not good that he did it because maybe he didn't know that. I don't know. Maybe he did. I'm not sure. But either way, you don't just do that to an anonymous person online. It was a clear act of retaliation because she filed a complaint with the bar, and he did it on his law firm website, which is crazy. Illegal? I mean, I don't really know. I don't know. But it's wrong. I think most people would agree that that's a morally wrong thing to do, especially as a licensed attorney. So
it's not helpful.
No, definitely not. Not with your reputation already tarnished. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, they're talking about a case that's over. Yeah, no, he's continuously doing that all the time. And then he does complain about things like people aren't sharing both sides. I'm like, yeah, because most people don't come out here and like post private documents or documents that like the things he shared of mine were not even court stamped yet. And they still weren't for like a week after that. And they did have my home address on them. So I don't know, like most people don't just come out here and do that. So like you read them as they come along, but he gets, I guess, impatient and upset and then blogs about it or tweets about it or whatever. And that never goes well. It just makes it worse. So, let's see. I think that's all we got there, but I just wanted to go over that real quick. And I didn't want to read the emails because I feel like you guys should go and read or watch this here because this was like her thing that she had to do. And I feel bad for her that she had to even contact the guy. I refuse to do it. In fact, what's kind of funny is I'm going to show you something.
And even if there's a court document where there's not a video or not a lot of videos covering that specific document, those documents always end up available on one of the web pages or the Reddit or the wiki pages. So people can read for themselves regardless of who filed it. So that's fair, I think.
Yeah, I can't pull it. I know I have a screenshot of this somewhere, but I'm not even gonna bother to dig for it. I'll just tell you what it was. There's a conversation between me and him that he even posted himself one time.
Oh boy.
That says, and it's the only conversation I've ever had with a man that said like, "Hey, I noticed that you posted a document with Laura's address and phone number and stuff on it, and I know that she's complained of being harassed, and at that point I didn't necessarily believe it, but I didn't feel the need to antagonize them by saying that, you know what I mean? So I just said, I know she's complained about being harassed. Or something along those lines. I can't look at it right this second, but I think nobody deserves to be harassed. So I thought maybe you might want to fix that. And like I said, those are not word for word. I'm sure he would be like, oh, she's lying. No, but I just don't have it in front of me because he deleted his Twitter account. So
yeah, the very first day he was publicly on this case and started talking to people on Twitter. I remember because I actually replied to one of the threads. I think I deleted it because I was like, we shouldn't be talking to this guy.
Yeah.
But he had made a filing which had the name and address of somebody in California who did not want their name and address in his filings, right?
Right.
And somebody who was active on Reddit, I can't remember who, but they were telling him, hey, buddy, you've got an unredacted thing in this document you just put up.
Right.
And he was sort of rude. Instead of asking questions like, what do you mean, which page, etc., the Socratic method, he was just very rude about it. He's like, well, Clayton's a public figure, so I can't, if I share Clayton's information, who cares? And the person, and I was like, what my reply was, they're not talking about Clayton.
Right.
Like, because I didn't want to say who it was.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it wasn't Clayton. And then, the other person said something more specific and I just deleted my comment. But he was just rude to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, that's not how you have a productive conversation.
No, there was a determined kind of feeling he had about, I think, everyone who was going to talk about this because of what his client told him. But instead of being rational and thinking, okay, let me try to keep an open mind about this, which honestly, he just shouldn't have engaged with people publicly.
Right.
But if you're going to do that, if you're dead set on doing that, what you should do is like come in with a clean slate and say, like, I understand, in the back of your mind, this is what my client is saying, but how can I approach this in a way that will make it better for her?
Yeah.
And that you have to have a more neutral approach to that. And he did not. So did not help.
Yeah. You have to understand that even if something, it's the internet, right? So even if someone sounds critical, like it's criticism, you can't just, they're unhinged or they're crazy or they're in a cult, right? Like it's
right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I certainly talk about I certainly talk about him that way now, but it took a long time to get here. So I think I was way more understanding than most people wanted me to be for a long time. So let's see. Okay, so evidence by the fact I keep getting more bar complaints generally from total strangers. Don't ask me the total number. I have lost count. That's not a good sign, David.
Red flag.
As far as the total strangers comment, I am a total stranger to this man, and he seems to have a lot to say about me and my life and crimes that I've committed and shit like that in a court document. So, like, I'm a little worried about how sensitive you are to the comments of total strangers. I get it. It sucks getting a lot of criticism on the internet, but if you're doing what they say you're doing, it becomes a little bit of a bigger problem, Yeah. So I don't know if it matters if they're coming from total strangers because the total strangers are the people you're attacking in your court documents. I'd like to
it's another obfuscation technique, right? Like, what does it mean to be a total stranger? A total stranger would not file a bar complaint against him. Somebody files a bar complaint, they have a reason.
I'm not saying that.
So the idea that they're a total stranger.
Yeah.
Like if we just go into Nebraska and find a human and say, do you know David Gingras? They'd be like, sir, no, who are you? That's a total stranger. They're not going to file a bar complaint against him.
I don't want to say that like with 100% certainty. I get what you're saying. And I think generally, yes, but just having watched the way things played on the internet lately, I've seen some people kind of do stuff like that. As even in Justin's case, like sending complaints. And I was like, okay, well, hey, guys, they didn't do anything to you. You know what I mean? So maybe don't do that. But if you're just like a total spectator and all you're doing is like reading articles and stuff like that, I don't necessarily think sending a bar complaint is appropriate. But if you're engaging with this man in some way, or he's engaging with the community that you're in and making accusations against you, then I get that. Yeah.
So I think I would go from the total stranger level up a level to what you're talking about to be like an observer.
Okay.
So if I'm observing the Blake Lively case and I'm angry about it and I fire off a bar complaint against Blake Lively's lawyer, I'm an observer. I'm a third, what is it? A neutral third party biased observer. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's a better description.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So saying you'd like to create a full wiki page covering each of your bar complaints is actually kind of on a hinge. That's like unwell, but all right. I just can't justify giving that much free content to YouTube parasites. Can we get over the fact that you are willfully providing content to people, because you seem to actually very much like doing that? It's a recurring theme in my life, unfortunately. Yeah. Like I'm like, every time I think, well, maybe it's over now. He's not representing Laura and Mike's case or something like that. Like Clayton's case is over. He lost the appeal. It's like, no, he always comes back worse somehow. And so I'm kind of tired of this like pretend not wanting attention thing when he very clearly does.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it last time. I just don't know what he considers a YouTube parasite versus a non-YouTube parasite.
Yeah.
Like, what's the test? Is it?
Yeah.
How do you tell? Is it just his opinion? Because if it's just his opinion, and he presents his opinion as some sort of fact, then I don't trust him.
Yeah. Let's see. So, like I said, I replaced the woman's name with Laura Owens because I'm not going to further, publish that person's private information out there.
Yeah.
Actually, I do know Laura, barely. I don't know how that name works very well there, but all I know is she has. Wait, so you're complaining about total strangers, but then you're saying, oh, actually, I do know this person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's an observer of their channel, then they're not complete strangers or total strangers.
Yeah.
There's some next level of descriptor there. And he's identifying that here.
Right. So saying here that he's upset because she posted a video covering the motion to disqualify that Omar filed in the DVRO case. He's saying it was denied and pure BS. So it was denied as premature, not the same as 100% BS. There's actually nothing that was ever said to confirm that it didn't have any merit or anything like that. It was just premature.
Yeah, I mean, if it was denied, without prejudice. He leaves that out. And this 100% pure BS, that's like, again, an opinion.
Right.
Because you'd have to prove that, or you'd have to convince me, and he hasn't done that. So
if you're trying to present this argument as a lawyer, don't say stuff like that, like 100% pure BS without something to back it up, because it just ruins your credibility. Not that he has any at this point in time, but say this is someone I'd never read anything from. And I already knew about the ruling and I knew why it was ruled the way it was. And I read this, I would think, well, obviously you were not here to educate or explain anything in any kind of logical way. So why should I read what you have to say?
It's more of this rhetoric, like when he said, there's no way in hell we'll lose the appeal.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you did lose the appeal. And I think Rachel and Steve took him to task for saying that without, you can't just claim you're going to win a case when you don't know if you're going to win a case. You can say you are confident. You could say, it's my opinion that his motion is no good. And explain why. That's even better.
Right.
But he just stops at this goofy rhetoric.
I mean, it's kind of like, and I'll admit that because he's an attorney and he's talking about like court cases, I'm applying kind of a different standard here than I would to anybody else. Whereas in like a random, YouTube commentator, if I read something that they wrote like this or heard them say something like this, I might assume that it's an opinion because it's not their job to represent that correctly. So I do want to kind of be transparent about that. Like, yes, I'm a little bit harder on him in my judgment of that. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if somebody on YouTube, right, MG Law or the expert or someone said something like this, I'd still want them to explain it.
Yeah, sure. I would just assume, say like, who can we use an example here? Say Ashley, Brianna, Eve, who we both watch, were to say something like that. I would assume that was an opinion statement and that she would go on to explain her opinion, but I wouldn't assume that it was a factual statement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's because that's what she does. She talks about her opinions and she makes that very clear, very clear. So, I just feel like it's kind of a different situation. For sure.
Yeah.
He always takes scum as clients.
Yeah. It's all about context. There can never be enough context.
Yes.
To help explain things.
Without reading all of this, you can just like kind of glance at it and know that this is a pretty interesting rant about the use of a gym selfie. There's a dude sitting in Arizona somewhere freaking out because somebody posted a gym selfie of him. And then what happens when I use these parody photos of him instead because he doesn't like us to use his copyrighted work? He freaks out in a court filing and says that I put his head on his client's body. Well, yes. But to be fair, you would not allow us to use normal photos of you. So could I have done something a little less outlandish? Yes, but that is not how I conduct myself. So yeah. And then he talks about this YouTube copyright process. And he kind of misrepresents this a lot. he says that she broke the law, basically, and that YouTube agreed with him that she broke the law. That's not what happened. YouTube doesn't really make a determination on whether or not something was lawful. They don't agree or disagree that something was copyright. When somebody makes a copyright complaint, it goes under review mostly by automated, like AI or bots or something like that. If they think there is some kind of merit to it, they will pull the video, not delete it entirely. They'll pull the video, and then you have a certain time period to respond, basically declaring this is why this is like not an actual copyright infringement. And also, if this person decides to take this matter to court, I'm committing to fight it. That person then, that's your counter notification. That person then has 10 days. And I did this last year with him, like a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. And then you have, he has a certain amount of time to respond to that by proving that he has filed a lawsuit in court, or by letting it go. In my case, he let it go. He seemed to pretend that he didn't. And that, again, I can only speculate, but I'm pretty certain he saw it beforehand. He waited till the last minute and was like, oh, I see now Omar filed this thing on Lauren's behalf. And I was like, yeah, you've had it for almost 2 weeks, but sure, go off. And then he let it go.
Yeah.
Basically saying oh, it's not, not going to happen right now. But then he made sure to make a point of saying he could, for the next 2 years or something, still sue me if he wanted to. And the pathetic thing is his video was worth nothing. He posted online publicly that he knew it was worth nothing. Not in those words, but admitted that he didn't watch the thing that he tried to take off of YouTube with a legal complaint. So it was, the whole thing was just way blown out of proportion on his end. But of course, I had never dealt with anything like this before, so it was a little stressful for me at first. But now, when he makes threats, it's just kind of I know you're blowing hot air because I've seen you practice. I've seen the way that you behave, even towards a judge. And I've seen you get your ass handed to you time and time again, to the point where you now have people in 3 different states who are complaining to the bar about you. And some are asking for sanctions. So, I'm just not worried about it anymore. But that's how it works with YouTube. It's not like they determined that you committed a crime.
Right. They have a process. They're not a law enforcement agency. They're not the judicial system.
Right.
They're just a company that has a process that lets people navigate disputes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's pretty frustrating because YouTube can get it wrong sometimes, and they take forever to fix it. And even with the legal support stuff, when they sent me the subpoena for my YouTube account, it took them forever to respond to me. And when they did, they basically didn't give me any information. So I had to keep trying to email them because they said, you need to prove that you've filed a motion to quash or something in court by this date, or we may give over your information. And I'm like, well, if you're going to give me a deadline like that, you better answer my fucking emails. And they never got back to me.
Yeah.
Still, it is October. So, it's YouTube is it's a mess.
You have to give them Halloween candy first. Then maybe they'll talk to you.
Anyways.
Because it's October.
No, I heard you, man. I know what you said. What are you going to be for Halloween?
What am I going to be?
Yeah, what are you going to be for Halloween?
I don't know. Tired.
Yeah, but what are you going to dress up as?
I have to dress up?
Yeah, dude. I
have a long sleeve shirt that has a skeleton on it. I could wear that.
I'll take it. So, he's talking about the emails he sent her. Like I said, if you want to hear about the emails and what he actually said, which was really crazy, by the way, it was fucking crazy. Go to her channel and watch that video that she posted a couple days ago. Okay. The letter said the bar received a complaint from Laura on October 15th. He probably will receive a bar complaint from Laura at some point, but we're still talking about this other person. Basically, Laura told the Arizona bar, I filed pleadings in San Francisco containing knowingly false and baseless allegations about me. That's true. That is a true statement. This was simply done. So he's talking about this filing. This was simply done to show the court why I was asking for sanctions against Omar, because he lied to the court in his motion to disqualify me. And within days after that motion was filed, Omar's motion was republished online by several people. That happens with every single legal filing in every part of these cases that he's been involved in. This is not a new concept, or this is not a surprise to him. He's just now choosing to make a big deal out of it, which is ridiculous. Halloween stream. I don't think I'm going to do that this year. I'm probably going to go hang out with my cousins or something. Because I don't really want to. I don't know. I'm going to try to take a little break this week.
Halloween's a Friday, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry guys. I know we did that last year, but I need to be away from everything for a bit. It's just sometimes I don't want to burn out, you know. And also it's just healthy to step away sometimes. Okay.
And it's important to watch the Loud Little Ducky video, because this thing where he says, he just said she created a 2-hour video about the motion.
Yeah.
I mean, that part is true, but that's not the entirety.
Right.
Because he's implying there's some sort of grand conspiracy here. And he, of course, doesn't mention any of that in here.
Yeah.
So.
Right. And he also says that he didn't mention her by name or anything like that. And I'm like, well, first of all, if that matters all of a sudden, you mentioned my full name quite a few times. But also you put her photo on there and her channel name was on there, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't have it on hand, so someone else will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but he at least used a photo from her channel. And so it was quite obvious who it came from. It's not like you can pretend you were talking about a different person with the same first name or something. You put her photo on there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's saying. He's saying he filed that she created a video about the motion.
He's also saying he basically that he didn't actually make false and baseless allegations. So what part of the claim was untrue? Well, the part of the claim that was untrue is that nobody did this in a conspiracy with the council you're mentioning.
Right.
She's never even, I'm pretty sure, because I asked her about this, she's never even interacted with him, really. I don't think she's ever really had an interaction with him. She may have been on a group stream or something with him. I don't know. You'd have to ask her. I mean, I think she's here now if you want to answer the question, because I don't know.
I don't think so.
But I don't believe that Echoes of the Tabernacle, who he also put in there, has ever interacted with Omar either.
Right.
At least not in any sort of sustained way. They don't have a relationship. And I think that they told me that. So I don't really know, again, why he thinks that he's going to be able to pass this as oh, well, I didn't do anything bad, when he clearly did. So, yeah. Because my sanctions motion simply mentioned her channel by showing a thumbnail, she decided to ask the Arizona bar to punish me. Makes sense. So then, even if that were true, say everything that he's saying right here is true, that he didn't do anything that was identifying of her and also painting her in a bad light. He then goes on to say all these things about her on his law firm website and posts her full name and address and phone number. And what do you go around trying to expose people with kids now? Is that your new hobby? What are you doing? That's crazy. All right. And this is what he gets so upset, so butthurt when people try to raise an actual issue, and he won't even listen to what people are actually trying to say. He says, anyways, she believes the First Amendment only applies to her, and she's the only person allowed to say mean things about other people online. When did anyone say that? Even in their complaints about you, the complaint is that you used the courts in an improper way to attack non-party critics and to scare them out of their free speech online. You cannot do that. You do not have a right to do that. Not as an attorney. If you say something about somebody who's actually involved in your case, maybe, right? Because they can defend themselves. But you can't just attack random critics.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what this has to do with the First Amendment, because if he says something that the bar deems inappropriate, that's not the government stopping citizens or states from publishing information, which is what the First Amendment is all about. So, this is very weird. It's kind of this sort of straw man thing. Like you said, it's nobody made this claim. So
neither one of us is saying that he can't say rude things on his blog. I'm actually quite flattered. Thank you.
Or Twitter or what? Because
I don't care about that. Yeah. I can say that over and over and over again, and he still does not understand, because he has a fundamental misunderstanding of the actual First Amendment, I think, which is embarrassing because he's a free speech lawyer. Just annoying.
I think he's just trying to set it up as a way to defend himself when the bar questions him about these complaints.
I mean, that's an embarrassing way to do it.
Well, it's the only sort of move he has on the chessboard, right? I don't know what else he could do other than, my suggestion of retiring to Cuba or Portugal and just getting out of town.
I guess he can't like retire until this is over. That's the thing.
Why not?
Yeah, he has to have this resolved somehow. I don't know. That's what he seems to be saying. Again, that's not his word for word explanation, but it sounds like he would like to retire, but then he can't because he needs to go through the process with the bar and have that resolved.
Is he prohibited from leaving Arizona because of?
I'm not sure. I don't want to say.
If he was, it would probably be because of this DUI case. But after that's resolved, I don't see why he couldn't just leave the country, like Roman Polanski or something.
Right. I have no idea. All right, let's see. So they're talking about, or he's talking about how the Arizona bar dismissed her complaint, and so he's going on about the bar guys. I'm not gonna, even bother with that shit. Mm-hmm. We've all heard him talk about the bar guys. It's ridiculous. So he says here basically that her thing was dismissed, right away, and basically is writing it off as if it like doesn't matter. So when they dismissed her complaint, the thing that like he didn't. Actually, I don't know if he actually put it in here, but the thing that he didn't really adequately explain is they said that they were already aware of the issue.
In Arizona.
Right. So they were already aware of the issue. So they told her to go to California, right? Mm-hmm. So they're already aware of the issue because they're investigating my very similar complaint, which had the same filings attached. So I don't really know why he thinks, again, that is like a huge win for him, but all right. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with filing a complaint to one of these two states and then CCing the other state.
Yeah.
To keep them in the loop.
He says here, hang on, go ahead.
He's acting like it's some sort of huge error, but it's really just, a formal nicety.
The Arizona bar cannot apply the Arizona rules to conduct occurring in California. Doing so would violate California's right as a sovereign state to make its own rules. So this is on his blog, which he posted earlier in the day. And then I'm going to give you a quote from the long letter he wrote to the bar.
Oh boy.
That night. And I'm not going to show
breaking news, guys.
Like I said, this is just one of the, I'll go over some more of it, but this is just one of the things because
my cat is very excited.
Oh yeah. Okay. I understand both you and Mr. McGregor take the position that the Arizona bar has authority to investigate conduct occurring outside of Arizona. I certainly realize the Supreme Court rules state precisely that. However, the fact remains the Arizona Supreme Court is not infallible. Sometimes the court makes rules which are unconstitutional. So it's not that they can't do it, it's that he says it's wrong if they do it. But he certainly recognizes that the Supreme Court rules allow it. He just says it's wrong. It's so wrong. Like what? Like this directly contradicts what he wrote in his stupid blog earlier in the day.
You know how Gingras always wants to take everything to the Supreme Court? I think we could just solve all the problems with him if we just let him make all the rules, on an arbitrary minute-by-minute basis. Mm-hmm. I think that would solve all these problems. Because probably you have it wrong, I have it wrong, the judges have it wrong, the Supreme Courts of the states have it wrong, the Supreme Court of the United States has it wrong, and he should just tell them how it is. I think that would be for the best. For all the best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, hang on. Wait, this leads to a third interesting thing. The Queen of Darkness herself, Lauren. Where did we get Queen of Darkness from? I'm just curious as to where this is coming from. I don't mind. But like, where do you get that from?
Is that a thing? I want to Google it. Is that from a movie or something?
I don't fucking know, man. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. If he wants to write that on his blog, fine, because I do believe in free speech, and I believe that he can say whatever he wants about me on a stupid blog as long as it's not like defamatory or unlawful somehow, Just don't go to court and make false representations on purpose. That's different. All right. Lauren recently filed a complaint with the AZ bar that's basically identical to Laura's, Laura being the name I replaced. The other girl's name. Like Laura, Lauren whined about the fact that only she is allowed to trash talk about other people. So again, you're seriously misrepresenting what I said here. And Bruce, you actually saw the first kind of thing that I sent to the bar when I made my complaint. But then he made that really insane filing where he named a specific crime that I had allegedly, or not even allegedly, he stated as a fact that I committed it.
Correct.
So then I had to rewrite. I rewrote the whole thing. I took out some stuff that alluded to things that he had posted online because it was like I don't want to focus on that, even though it was related to the copyright stuff. It wasn't like he was saying mean things and I was complaining about that. I never did that.
Mm-hmm.
But I took that out because I was like, it's not worth fighting over this when I would have to go through like God knows how many like screenshots and track down old videos that he's deleted. And I could do it, but it would take me a long time and energy. And I was like, this is what I really care about right now is I would like to get rid of this misrepresentation of the facts. So I'm going to pull up what I actually sent them since he's severely misrepresenting what I complained about. And we're going to actually look at that. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I wouldn't have done this. Like I said, I'm not trying to post these things online, but he's, again, really misrepresenting the facts. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to you.
Mm-hmm. This is crazy. Like the pleadings hurt her whittle feelings because they were all just big fat lies. Is he in third grade? He sounds like a third grader.
It's just very odd, dude.
This is not how you have a
it's not
conversation or communicate with an adult to explain something properly.
Right. Hold on, I gotta pull this up and copy it.
I don't know. I feel like he writes this as if we're all sitting at the bar or sitting on YouTube, like looking at love videos and just talking.
Wasn't that kind of bar complaint, David?
Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like trash. It's like we're at the fantasy football draft. We're at the bar, we're watching love videos, talking smack. That's how he writes some of this. And it's like,
pretty much
that's not, I mean, that's fun to do if you're in the right place at the right time. But I don't think his blog for his business is that place.
Yeah. Guys, Nick Stero, who we're supposed to join after this, he started at 4:30, but he's starting with the Proctor stuff. So it's okay that we're going to be a little late to that. Because I don't know anything about that. So we'll still redirect over there after we're done here. So let me just roll over this. So this is what he said his response was, and I think people have probably read this by now, so I'm not going to pull it up. This was a one-page response where he basically, well, I guess I can show it on the screen here, but I'm not going to like read it all. Basically saying, Miss Neidigh lied to you. She claims I made false statements in my pleadings. I did not. Every word I said regarding Miss Neidigh was true. Is this really what you want to go with? Jesus Christ. All right. As you can see from the date on the letter, I sent this to Jim Lee before I saw the other girl's complaint, which was dismissed by the AZ bar and sent to me on October 17th. So I guess rather than applying the law neutrally, the Arizona bar applies different standards based on which bar council you're dealing with. So again, like I said, he's being disingenuous here. The nature of my complaint is different in a lot of ways. We did have some similar complaints, but then he went ahead and made things a lot worse for himself when it came to, his second filing where he put my picture all in there and said a bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah, and it's not inconsistent if the Ducky complaint went to one guy who said we're aware of this, and yours went to Jim, and Jim has been dealing with all these other bar complaints. Then the body of work and the scope of what they're looking at is different, and they may be coherent, in terms of working with each other. Even if the response for one specific file is different than the response for all of the other files that are being looked at by the other individual. So I think it all has potential coherency here. And I don't know why he's saying there's different results from different people or something. They're not doing, the denominator is not the same in both cases is the problem. Right.
Yeah. So he's, again, threatening to, do anti-slap suit against the bar, which, okay.
Good luck. I don't know how that works, but
Lauren's primary complaint was that I lied to the court, but of course I did not lie. Every word I said about Lauren was true or an expression of my opinion, so good luck with that. Good luck with that, you dumb cunt. You very clearly did not express this as your opinion at all. You stated it as a fact in a court filing. Jesus Christ. But go ahead, keep playing into my hands, stupid bitch. Anyway, when/if the bar ever moves forward on the other stuff, I might share more details about what's going on. Personally, I'm looking forward to having my day in court, confronting my accusers, and having a chance to test their claims.
Well, you know, his track record on predictions.
Yeah.
Like having a day in court or confronting accusers or testing their claims. I wonder if those are like his predictions about winning the motions or winning the case.
Yeah.
Winning the appeal, winning the other appeal. Because none of those really worked out for him.
Yeah.
He's not the best at predictions.
Mike's GoFundMe's at 43K. Really awesome. That's good.
Nice.
That's good. Yeah, I pinned didn't I pin the link in there? Yeah, I did. Okay. So if you guys want to go to that, it's right at the top. All right. So I'm not going to read all of this, but you can see it's not about hurt feelings at the very least. Between September 15th and October 7th, David Gingras made 2 filings in San Francisco court. Mr. Gingras, who's not a party to the case, is not a counsel of record for anyone involved, filed a motion to intervene for sanctions and disciplinary referral, blah, 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 blah. These filings contain knowingly false, defamatory, and harassing allegations about me, a non-party to the litigation. Most egregiously, Mr. Gingras accused me of engaging in criminal conduct, specifically of impersonating him through electronic means for purposes of harming, intimidating, threatening, or defrauding another person under California Penal Code 528.5. A statute that prohibits online identity theft and harassment. Mr. Gingras offered no evidence whatsoever for this allegation, yet he presented it to a court as fact and thereby caused an official judicial record to falsely label me as having committed a crime. This was not a good faith legal argument. It was an intentional abuse of the judicial process designed to harass and damage my reputation. And that's not about hurt feelings. I've said this before. You cannot actually make an official court record of a crime that didn't happen.
Yeah.
That's not okay. If you say, it's my opinion that what she's doing is, it's wrong based on this law, whatever. That's not what he said.
Mm-hmm. And the YouTube lawyers that looked at that filing were constantly asking, where is the proof? Where is the evidence? This is all just bluster.
People who don't even look at this stuff. We're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Gingras understood I had not credibly impersonated him, as evidenced by his automatically identifying me as the person behind the account in question. My real username was present, and satire on a Discord server is not a real or credible attempt to impersonate Mr. Gingras. Impersonate. Mr. Gingras later boasted on a social media that lawyers have a privilege to defame, which I thought was an interesting choice. Mr. Gingras also used my image multiple times in his filings to accuse me of conspiring with the respondent's counsel in the case. He presented this as a fact, offering no reasonable basis to believe this was truthful. Mr. Gingras made nonsensical accusations that I am a key cult leader. He again stated this as a fact with no evidence. So repeatedly, I'm pointing out here, he stated this as a fact with no evidence. This was not presented as an opinion, and even if it was, this is not the appropriate forum for it.
Well, Lauren, you're wearing the key around your neck, aren't you? Oh, wait, maybe not.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, it's in my butthole.
Oh. Ow.
I can see where you would make that mistake, though. The cult he refers to is actually a series of independently run social media pages with which I have no affiliation. I follow these pages online, but do not own, control, or publish from them. In his filings, Mr. Gingras additionally made erratic and haphazard associations between my online criticisms of Mr. Gingras and acts of severe political violence. Mr. Gingras uses these random associations to chill my lawful expression of free speech. He suggests I am to blame for violent acts such as the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and that more people will die if I am not stopped. I have never endorsed violence against Mr. Gingras. I have no association with Charlie Kirk or any political figures. I have never encouraged or committed any acts of violence. Contrarily, I have recently been outspoken in my condemnation of political violence. So I don't know what he thinks about that as me saying, like, well, you hurt my feelings. That was a mean thing to say. No, it wasn't just a mean thing to say, dude. If you want to say that on your blog, fine. It wasn't a mean thing to say. It was an abusive thing to do.
Yeah. And he goes to his third grade name-calling rhetoric.
And I don't care about that.
Because he doesn't have a good response.
I really don't. I really just don't give a fuck about that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't like it when he does it to other people because, I don't know, it bothers me more when he does it to other people than when he does it to me. But when he does it to me, I'm just like, whatever, man. Just go. If that's what you got to do to get through the night, like you got to rage type your little, thoughts about me so that you can, wank off and go to bed, that's fine. I don't care. But don't do it in the court. All right. I don't think that I need to really, because like I said, I don't really want to put all this stuff online, so I'm not gonna like post it or anything like that. I just wanted to show that that is not what it's being characterized as, something very different than what it was.
So. Important safety tip, chat. Don't wank off in court.
Well, he might.
Every day is a new opportunity to learn something new.
Yeah. Yeah.
A new life lesson.
All right. Hold on. I got just a couple of things down here that I will go over, and then we'll move over to Nick. I still have to send you that link, by the way, Bruce.
Right on. I should probably work on my house.
Oh, yeah, true. Let's see. Okay. So this was an interesting choice. And like I said, I'm not going to show this on the screen. I'm not going to post it. He'll probably do it himself. I don't give a fuck. That's fine. I can't control him. Dear Mr. Lee, and this is his second response to the bar from the other night. This letter is in response to your follow-up letter dated today. Before I respond to your letter, please consider a hypothetical scenario. Rather than working for the state bar, imagine you're a police officer. One day, you pull a driver over. The driver happens to be African American. The driver asks why you stopped him. In his response, you explain, I stopped you because you are black, and someone told me all black people are criminals. Therefore, I'm going to detain you until you prove to my satisfaction that you were not a criminal.
What?
If you were the police officer in this hypothetical, in addition to losing your job, you would be subject to civil liability for violating the driver's constitutional rights. I understand you may dispute this, but what you're doing here is exactly the same thing as the police officer in this hypothetical scenario.
Oh, what? How? Wait, bar guy?
Yeah, he's writing this to the bar guy.
Bar guy is just investigating bar complaints.
No, he's a racist.
Against what? Italian nachos? What?
I have rights that are protected by the United States Constitution. Okay, well, they're not throwing you in jail, dude. It's just that you might have violated the standards of the licensing board. It's not like they're putting you in prison.
Is Gingras going full sovereign citizen here?
I think so.
Oh no.
Among other things, this includes the right to free speech and the right to petition the government for redress of grievances. But it wasn't a case against me, dude. That's the problem. I wasn't a party to the case. I wasn't involved at all.
Redress of grievances.
It's not like he filed a lawsuit against me and said this stuff. Like, he just said it in like a random proceeding. My status as a lawyer does not deprive me of those rights. David. Honey.
Doesn't deprive me of those rights. I don't. What if you worked in a bakery and you wrote a bunch of swear words on the wall with the whipped cream or something, and they fired you and you're like, my constitutional rights.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
And then he, I won't read this part word for word, but then he goes on to talk about how just like the driver, he has a right to engage in free speech and that the bar guy can't harass him like this, basically.
Bar guy, this is highly inappropriate. It's not even 7 o'clock in the morning and we're talking about my bar complaints?
All right, I'm sorry. This was just kind of an epic, ridiculous thing to write. So I am going to actually show the screen here. Just so everyone can remember this, because I'm not going to show the whole complaint. I pasted these paragraphs, okay?
My brain is exploding.
Just one more time, in case your brain didn't grasp it the first time, because I lost some sort of parts of my brain when I read that. One day you pull a driver over. The driver happens to be African American. The driver asks why you stopped him. In response, you explain, I stopped you because you're black. What you are doing here is exactly the same thing as the police officer in the hypothetical scenario.
Exactly the same thing? I don't think it's exactly the same thing because there's no car and there's no police officer. And Gingras isn't black. That I know of.
The way that I was just like, I was out with people at dinner when I got this. And I wasn't going to read it. And I changed my mind. And then I was just sitting there and I just like froze for a few minutes.
You should have gotten up on one of the tables and had like the bartender turn the music off and just read this to the whole restaurant.
No, I passed the phone around.
Maybe
though.
Not.
I was like, look at this shit.
Yeah,
right? This shit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane.
This is something else.
He always goes to such extremes. I'm surprised.
I don't think he understands the definition of exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing is like exactly the same thing. Like if I have a blue cup and then I have another cup, but it's green, it's not exactly the same thing. But if I have a blue cup and then I have another Fiesta Ware blue cup, you could argue that it's exactly the same thing. They're two instances of the same object.
Yeah.
That's not what exactly the same thing means.
Well, I'm pretty sure that they're only investigating my complaint because David is black, Bruce.
Oh my gosh. And someone told Bar Guy
yeah,
that all Gingrises are criminals, I guess. I don't know. What?
I don't know. This is actually this. I mean, in the last few weeks, I've seen some pretty crazy stuff from this guy. But this was.
I'm shook.
Like I needed a nap.
I don't think my cat is going to be able to recover. He's shaken.
Is your cat's not black? Okay, good. That's the problem here.
Can't you tell how disturbed he is by hearing all this? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, me too, buddy. Then again, he writes, and again, I'm not going to read anymore like word for word, but he wrote here, a different JFC cult member just submitted a complaint, and it's like you're actually writing to the bar about a cult. And he actually says, if you need any like proof that what I'm saying is true, read my filings. And I was like, oh, they've read them. They've read them, David. That's why you got
I think who's Bar Guy? Lee? I think he should try to investigate this and figure out if there's a cult. Like I welcome an investigation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, yeah, please look into this.
Yeah.
Get approved for overtime.
Yeah.
Look for as much evidence as you can in this case. Please.
Yeah. Okay. What else here? Oh, he says that my complaint didn't identify any specific false statements other than this. And then he goes into the thing about him saying that I violated a specific law, California Penal Code, Section 528.5. I was like, that's pretty specific. And also I highlighted and quoted, or not direct quoted, but I highlighted and paraphrased a lot in the complaint. Like I highlighted the filing when I sent it in with all the actual things that support what I'm saying. I'm like,
sure.
you're actually so fucking stupid, man. Like, whoa.
I mean, all you can do is make your case.
Oh, and then he says, I haven't provided evidence showing that it's false. And I'm like, go ahead and look me up in every single criminal database ever. And you're not going to find anything. Like, what do you mean, prove it's false?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a criminal, when were you arrested?
Yeah.
Because as far as I know, you don't have a mugshot, but I think Gingras has a couple.
Right. Yeah. Two or three.
Just a few.
Yeah.
A smattering.
Oh God, this guy's so fucking nuts. Yeah. And then again, he said harassing me for my lawful speech is exactly the same thing as a police officer stopping a driver without any legal basis. And I'm like, this from the guy who just got a second DUI. This is a lot of driver analogies. Oh God.
Yeah, maybe not reminding the bar guy about vehicular crime.
Yeah.
I also says, just an idea.
I will not respond to any further inquiries regarding Miss Neidigh's complaint. Well, good luck with that.
Oh, really? Unless he said that to the bar?
Yeah, he said, I will not respond to any further inquiries regarding Miss Neidigh's complaint unless you first provide evidence showing that any basis exists for her complaint. What the fuck?
Oh, no.
This is just...
That's like the sovereign citizen equivalent of rolling the window up, and they're like, roll your window down. And they're like, no, just put the paper up against the window.
Yeah, right. And then he again threatens them with anti-slap suit, saying that he would ask for an order requesting the state bar pays his attorney's fees, damages, and lost income. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, what lost income, you jobless fucking loser?
Well, he wanted all that in the Clayton case too. Remember that? Yeah. That didn't go very well.
No, dude. I mean, just the first couple paragraphs of that was such an epic fuck up. I don't even know like how to and luckily I don't have to respond to that because I'm not sure how. You know what I mean? But I don't have to. So now I just wait.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if state bars have like a textbook or something. You know the way doctors have a textbook, and when some strange case comes up, they put it into a special textbook?
Yeah.
I think Gingras could be a whole chapter if there's like a bunch of manuals for state bars across the country or something. It could be. He may. Tots and pears for bar guy.
Yeah, I want to print out those first 2 paragraphs and put them in my fridge, dude. That's so crazy.
Put them in your fridge.
I'm like barely joking.
Right under the mustard.
I don't like mustard, man. Come on, you know that.
You don't want burritos. You don't want hot sauce. You don't want mustard. What do you? Just eating.
What I want is to go to bed, frankly, but I can't always do that. So,
you know.
All right, guys, I'm gonna redirect you over to Nick. I'll be over there in 5-10 minutes. He might still be talking about Proctor. I'm not sure, but I know he's going to switch over soon. We're going to try to do some fundraising for Mike. So if you could stick around over there, I will be back with you shortly. Bruce, if you have time, I'll send you the link to this. If not, that's okay. I know you've been here for an hour, so.
Yeah, I think I have some work to do. So.
All right. Well, when this ends, it'll redirect you, and then also I put a link right there if you want to click it. So.
Cool.
All right. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.